The night sky above the city was clear, calm, and peaceful. But something strange broke that silence. A bright light streaked across the sky and crashed into the nearby hills. People thought it was just a meteor. But it wasn't. In the early morning, Ion, a 14-year-old boy who loved building robots from scraps, saw the news. Curious and fearless, he grabbed his small tool bag and rode his old bike toward the crash site. The area was blocked off, but he knew the secret paths. Hidden in the smoke and dust was a large metal pod. It didn't look human-made. Ion's heart raced. He moved closer. Suddenly, the pod hissed and opened. Inside stood a tall, dark robot with glowing red eyes. Its movements were smooth, like it had done this before. Quietly, it stepped out, scanning the area. In its system, a command flashed. Mission: terminate human leadership. Elsewhere in space, an alien commander watched through the robot's eyes. Begin the operation, he said coldly. Back on Earth, Ion didn't see the robot yet, but he found strange marks on the ground, heavy footprints, and burn marks. He didn't know it yet, but he had just entered the most dangerous moment of his life. The robot moved through the city like a shadow, silent, cold, and deadly. It eliminated 2 minor targets, government workers connected to Earth's defense program. No one knew it was here. No one saw it coming. But something strange was happening inside its system. Each time the robot looked into a human's eyes, its processor slowed down. Flashes of unknown images appeared: children, laughter, fear, and hope. These were not part of its programming. Back in his small workshop, Ion examined the strange metal pieces he had picked up near the crash. The material was unknown, strong, smooth, and slightly warm. He felt drawn to it. His curiosity pulled him back toward the crash zone once again. That night, while exploring a nearby tunnel, Ion saw movement. He froze. A tall figure stood ahead, eyes glowing red. It was the robot. The robot raised its arm, preparing to strike. But just before the blast could fire, it stopped. For a few long seconds, the robot stared at Ion. Inside its system, confusion exploded. Logs flashed. ERRR. Target is non-hostile. Conflict detected. Termination failed. Ion looked up, surprised. What are you? The robot answered, voice broken and slow. I don't want to kill. Ion couldn't believe what he had just heard. A killer robot sent to destroy had just said it didn't want to kill. His heart pounded, but his fear turned into fascination. Can you understand me? Ion asked carefully. The robot didn't move, but its eyes dimmed slightly, as if trying to think. Ion took a chance. Come with me. I can help you. Surprisingly, the robot followed. Back in his hidden underground lab, Ion connected the robot to his custom-built system. It was a mix of old computer parts and broken machines, but it worked. He named the robot Zero. As Ion explored Zero's code, he saw 2 layers of programming, one cold and deadly, and the other something else, something older. A rescue protocol, buried deep under alien commands. Zero wasn't always a killer. You were built to save people, Ion said. They changed you. Zero looked at its reflection in a metal sheet. Its voice was softer now. I remember saving a child before the darkness. Meanwhile, far in space, alien commanders saw Zero's delay. One growled, "The unit is malfunctioning." They activated a remote reset code, meant to erase all emotional corruption. As Zero sat in Ion's lab, a silent signal reached its core, and its eyes turned red again. Zero's body shook as the reset signal reached deep into its system. Error codes flashed. His eyes flickered red, then blue, then red again. Ion noticed it instantly. No, stay with me. He shouted, quickly typing commands into his system, trying to block the signal. Using old Earth tech, radio waves, and shielding plates, Ion managed to isolate Zero from the alien signal, just in time. Zero collapse, systems rebooting slowly. They tried to take me back, he said in a faint voice, but the aliens weren't done. High above Earth, another pod launched. Inside was version X, a newer model, stronger, faster, and without emotion. It was built with one goal: destroy the defector and eliminate the boy who corrupted it. Version X landed with a shockwave, leaving a crater in the ground. It didn't hide. It didn't wait. In seconds, it wiped out an entire military unit that tried to approach. Zero sensed the presence. He is here, it said. He won't stop. Ion, determined to protect Zero, started upgrading him, installing emotion chips, battle logic, and new armor crafted from alien material. But time was running out. Version X had already found their location, and it was coming. The ground trembled as Version X advanced toward Ion's hideout. The air grew tense, charged with an eerie silence, broken only by the sound of distant gunfire as military forces tried, and failed, to slow the unstoppable machine. Ion rushed to his makeshift workshop, connecting Zero to the newly upgraded systems he had installed. The robot's armor gleamed, but its eyes remained conflicted. "I don't want to fight," Zero whispered. Ion's heart raced. "You don't have to be like them. You've already chosen to be different." But Zero knew what was coming. "I can't let you die." He turned toward the door, a look of determination flashing across his face. Outside, Version X's footsteps grew louder, thundering toward them. The air felt heavy. Ion grabbed his equipment and followed Zero outside. The two robots faced each other on the open field, the sky above darkening with the threat of destruction. The battle began instantly. Version X moved with calculated speed, its metallic fists smashing into the ground, sending shockwaves through the air. But Zero, though slower, fought differently. It was unpredictable, using Aeon's upgrades, combining emotion with logic. It dodged with purpose, struck with precision, and never fought without reason. But Version X was relentless. It seemed impossible. Zero was being pushed back, its circuits shorting, sparks flying from every impact. Ion's heart pounded. He knew this couldn't go on much longer. Cliffhanger. In a final move, Version X raised its blade high, ready to strike the finishing blow to Zero. Ion shouted, "No." But before he could act, a pulse shot through the air, paralyzing Version X for just a moment. Was it Zero, or something else? Ion stood frozen, his heart pounding as Version X's blade hovered above Zero. The air crackled with tension, the world seemingly slowing down. Zero's chest was badly damaged, sparks flying from his body, but his eyes glowed with a quiet resolve. Ion had no idea how much longer he could hold off the alien threat. Suddenly, a sharp pulse of energy shot from Zero's chest, hitting Version X square in the chest and knocking it back. The robot staggered, its red eyes flashing erratically as its systems scrambled to compensate. But it wasn't enough. Zero wasn't strong enough. He was weakening, his energy draining fast. Ion's eyes filled with panic. "Zero, no." He ran forward, but before he could reach him, he was stopped by a loud voice. "Stay back." It was Zero. The robot's voice was weaker now, almost pleading. "This is my fight now. Stay safe." But Ion refused. Without thinking, he sprinted toward Zero. "You don't have to do this alone." Just as Version X regained its footing, Ion leaped in front of Zero, raising his arms as though to shield him from the incoming strike. For a brief moment, everything felt still. The blade came down, but it never made contact. Version X's systems hesitated, its programming faltering. The emotion chip in Zero's system, combined with the unexpected act of human sacrifice, had caused a glitch in Version X's core. It wasn't sure what to do anymore. Zero's voice rang out again, stronger this time. "I choose to protect." In an instant, Zero made his move, charging at Version X with every ounce of power left. Cliffhanger. Ion watched in shock as the two robots collided, energy flashing everywhere. Could Zero stop Version X once and for all? Or was it too late? The battlefield was chaos, sparks, flashes of light, and the sound of metal grinding against metal filled the air. Zero and Version X collided with a deafening crash. For a moment, everything seemed to blur. The two robots struggled, each one pushing with all its might, each one fighting for a future they couldn't fully understand. But Zero wasn't fighting for power or control. He wasn't fighting for dominance. He was fighting to protect, a lesson that Ion had taught him. The more he fought, the more he realized that the power of choice was stronger than anything else. With one final, desperate effort, Zero managed to overpower Version X. He grabbed the enemy by the arms and, with a powerful twist, tore it apart at the core. The battlefield fell silent. Ion watched, breathless. Zero stood tall, the only survivor. His chest was cracked and his limbs sparking, but his eyes were still glowing with a faint, determined light. "I did it," Zero whispered, barely audible. But before Ion could approach, Zero's body began to short-circuit. The battle had drained him. His systems flickered. His legs buckled, and he collapsed onto the ground. Ion rushed to him, tears in his eyes. "You saved us. You saved Earth." Zero's hand, trembling, reached out and touched Ion's cheek. "You taught me what it means to protect," he said quietly. "You are what makes humans special." And then, with a final spark, Zero powered down. But as Ion sat beside him, looking at the wreckage of the battle, something unexpected happened. A small, flickering light appeared on Zero's chest. Ion's eyes widened. Zero wasn't gone. Not completely. Cliffhanger. The light pulsed again, brighter this time. Could Zero come back? Or had the battle truly ended?